Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg again. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we did start at the usual time this morning. Yeah, it isn't a half day or anything like that.
Are you consistently late to work, making mistakes on tasks you already mastered? Getting into it with colleagues, you may be burned out.
Jennifer Longmore is a corporate and professional life coach who works with Fortune 500 executives and pro athletes, and she's here to tell us how to turn things around. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So how is stress impacting us? Has there been studies on this?
Yes, it impacts the majority of us, and we don't even know how to manage it, and a lot of times we don't even know that we're stressed. So we end up acting out our stress until maybe someone finally reins us in and has a conversation and says, let's have a chat about how you're showing up right now.
Is there a difference between burnout and maybe just not enjoying your job?
Absolutely.
I imagine it contributes to one of the other.
Company culture can contribute to someone's burnout and someone's stress level. Sometimes people just are in the wrong role, or they're getting bored in their role and they need a challenge, or they've just checked out and it's time to move on. So we have to really be honest with ourselves about that.
So you said being late for work is a passive-aggressive way of sending a message to your boss, and that message is what?
If we're chronically late, we know we're supposed to be on time. We know eventually someone's going to have a conversation with us about the fact that, look, it's been 4 weeks now and you're showing up half an hour late every day. What's going on? We're not surprised by that, but sometimes we want someone else to have the conversation with us so that we don't have to initiate it.
And how would you recommend that conversation go if you do approach your boss and say, hey, you know what, I'm feeling a little bit burned out right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. So many people are afraid of their boss, and it really depends on the boss, but let's assume we have a reasonable boss. We would go in and say, can I chat with you? I'm feeling overwhelmed. Can we create a game plan around how I can have a more manageable workload? Because I really do want to do a good job. Most people do want to do a good job. They just don't always know how to go about it.
You say companies with programs have less burnout. Programs like, well, first of all, programs like what, yoga or?
It could be lunchtime yoga, it could be seated chair massage, some have nap stations, some have infrared saunas. Companies that are more innovative tend to have good healthcare benefits for their employees, and it shows that studies show that people are more engaged and they're far less stressed.
I'm still looking for that sauna here at
Yeah,
WGN.
so if you don't have those things, what is an effective way to get those things?
We've got to start taking control too over our own burnout, right? So we know that technology has the same impact on us as crack cocaine. So finishing your text just before you go to bed or logging on just as you get out of bed is not healthy, right? We need some downtime. We need to be away from technology. We need to take advantage of our company benefits if we have them. A lot of people don't. We need to have mementos around our desk of remembering that there's more to life than work, and so we have pictures of kids or spouse or pets or whatever. And we need to take advantage of our lunch break and walk around and get some oxygen in our brain and get some feel-good hormones going and clear our heads so that we can be more productive.
So it's really almost about establishing my identity outside of the workplace, not letting those two kind of combine into one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about getting a new job?
That's always an option, depending on the climate, right?
Yeah, could it be that the particular job you have is not a good match for you?
Yeah, a lot of people are mismatched. They're in roles that are challenging for them. If you're a big picture thinker and you're in a job that requires a lot of detail, it's going to be so hard to constantly show up every day and focus because you're giving it all you can, right? So it's about finding the right match for you for sure.
I imagine it's important to take this seriously because it could have so many repercussions on your personal life.
Absolutely. Marriages, the way we're talking to our children, whether we're making time for friends, whether family thinks we're reliable and they can count on us. There's so many things.
Yeah, how can you tell whether you're burned out from work or burned out from your family?
Or both.
Or, could be both. I mean, is there this just because you're late for work, that could mean you're maybe stressed out from your family?
And that's what we want to look at first, right? Am I late because something is going on at home and maybe I've got a sick child, or maybe I've got a health diagnosis that I'm still trying to deal with? Like, what is the real reason why? If it's work related, and a lot of times it is. Company culture, let's be honest. When I had a job, I wasn't being expected to be on my phone all the time, and now people are being puppeted all the time by technology. That would burn me out. So
how willing are bosses to be adaptable if you go to them and say, I'm not really this is burning me out. I like a different role. How flexible are employers in your experience?
Employers that are innovative and employers that really value company culture are going to be right on top of that because they understand it's actually more expensive for them to constantly hire and train new people than it is to take good care of the people that you have.
So a better question would be, what percentage of the companies are innovative? And it seems like most are not.
There's a lot of companies that are still trying to catch up, for sure.
Yeah, because I would be afraid to go to my boss and then think like, oh, well, this
Not
person's
our
gonna think I'm
boss.
lazy. No, Jennifer would be
Your boss
wonderful.
is
Paul would be
amazing.
wonderful, yes. But I would imagine a lot of people probably
Yeah.
think that as an obstacle, like, oh, I'm going to come off as lazy or perceived as lazy or trying to get out of extra
And the worst
work.
thing you can say to someone that's a highly productive person is they're lazy. It's such an offensive comment,
Absolutely,
right? Because
yeah.
people do want to do a good job.
All right. Well, for more tips and other information, you can check out Jennifer Longmore at souljourneys.ca. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right.